What up guys, it's your man KP67s bringing you another Imperial Academy video. And today we're going to be going over another Imperial character, a very popular Imperial officer who managed to get stuff done on the planet of Hoth. It is our friend General Veers. Now, as a note, General Veers before his rework in May of 2017 was pretty garbage. He was not very highly used, but now Veers is definitely a lot more viable thanks to the changes that they made to him. He's a support character as well as an Imperial Trooper character, and like all Imperial Troopers, he has kind of a Phoenix Squad-ish type of unique where it's not tied to a leader, unlike those fools. He can just share it with other Imperial Troopers. So, with regards to General Veers' stats, you can see, much like Tarkin, he has very high tactical capability, but not, like, again, like pretty average strength and agility stats. So he's not going to have the highest health armor, but he is going to have pretty good physical and special damage. As you can see here, as I've currently got him modded, he's got about, I should really do the math beforehand, about 56k total health and protection. His speed is like, it's okay, I could get it higher. But since I run him as lead among the trooper team, he gains extra speed. We'll get into it, so I'm not super worried about that. His potency is decent, I could get a little higher. His physical attack, you can see, is about 2812. Not bad at all. He's got a pretty good amount of armor on him thanks to my mods, and his special damage is also nothing to, like, you know, cough at. And he has a, you know, an okay special critical damage, critical chance, sorry, rating. So where can you find General Veers in this case? General Veers, unfortunately, is one of those hard nodes. So he can be found actually in 3 nodes here, 2 light, 1 dark, 4C, 6C, and 6D. If you want to refresh them over and over and over, I highly suggest it because, actually no wait, I'm sorry, you don't really need to refresh. If you just run each of those 5 battles a day, you know, if each is about a 33% drop, you could be looking at about 5 to 6 shards a day, which, like, you know, is a bit of a slow farm, but it's better than, like, you know, those 1 node hard farms, so there's that. He also has a chance to drop, as you can see, in the Military Might event. He has not dropped for me, not that it matters, he's already at 7-star, but, you know, I wouldn't just rely on Military Might to farm him. With respect to General Veers' gears, the popular gears that everybody complains about, guns and cuffs and carbantes, he is actually not bad at all. He only requires 2 stun cuffs and 2 carbantes. However, that being said, he is a glutton for raid gear. He needs 3 Mark 6 Nubians, the discs, and 3 Mark 7 scanners, most of which are needed from going from gear 10 to gear 11. So if you're really struggling with the Rancor raid, if you're not in a guild that's like really pumping out the raids, if you don't have that salvage, if you don't have those gears crafted, he will be a challenge to get past gear 10, just as a fair warning. So with respect to his abilities, we have his basic daring attack. What happens here is that he deals physical damage to a target with a 70% chance to grant speed up for 2 turns to General Veers and a random Imperial Trooper ally who doesn't have it. Not much to say about this. It's a pretty hard-hitting basic. He can do 13 to 15k, depending on whether or not you've modded him a little bit more for offense. The extra speed up is pretty useful, especially when we get to his leadership, as well as the fact that speed up is speed up, and, you know, in the galaxy of speed, the more speed up you have, the better. This is a fun little clone trooper type ability, Ruthless Assault. So what happens here is that he deals special damage to each enemy with a 55% chance to inflict ability block for a turn, and deals 10% more damage for each living rebel. And he also calls all other Imperial troopers to assist, dealing 40% less damage. To be honest, I wasn't a big fan about the fact that he's only dealing 40% less, that he's dealing 40% less damage, whereas other special abilities, they're dealing a little bit more, like 30% less damage, etc. but I could see why they needed to kind of balance him because of what we're going to talk about in a little bit more. His lead here is the Imperial Assault Commander. All Empire allies gain 30% offense, and Imperial Troopers gain 20 speed and a 10% turn meter buff whenever they gain a buff. So, you know, if you're not an Imperial Trooper, he's not really adding much to the table. An extra 30% offense. Vader does the same thing. Thrawn kind of does the same thing. A little less offense, but a bunch of other stuff going on. So it's very niche. Unless you're running a lot of troopers. If you're running the Imperial Troopers, you automatically grant them an extra 20 speed, which is great. Like you know, again, like that's like, you know, part speed mod right there. And 10% turn meter whenever they gain a buff. So that speed up that I mentioned previously can actually literally make them take a turn if they're already close to like 90% TM. And finally, we have his unique, which is a Zeta, Aggressive Tactician. So whenever an enemy is defeated while Veers is active, okay, Imperial Troopers will gain offense up for 2 turns, 50% turn meter, and recover 10% protection. This is under a Zeta. Without the Zeta, it's an 80% chance to gain offense up for 2 turns, 40% chance to gain 50% turn meter, and no protection gain. So basically, the Zeta just guarantees you automatically offense up, automatically an extra 50% turn meter, and automatic 10% protection back. In addition, while Veers is active, Imperial Troopers have a plus 15 critical chance. This is clutch for the Imperial Troopers to just destroy things in the arena, in Galactic War, PvE content. Like, they are beasts under General Veers because General Veers can just buff them so quick. Like, imagine taking Death Trooper and putting him on steroids. Now he's faster, stronger, harder hitting. Like, it becomes a lot scarier. The other beautiful thing about the Zeta is that it's a unique Zeta. It's not a lead. Most other Imperial Zetas that we have here are lead Zetas, which means that they're restricted. Like, you have to run them as lead if you want to make use of their Zeta. However, as a unique, you could slot in Veers as a lead or as a support character, and the effect will always be there. It's very clutch. The only problem I have with it is that the AI doesn't use Imperial Troopers very appropriately. The Troopers gain the most bang from their buck when they're focusing down one character at a time, because it's like an onslaught. The other team's not moving and you're just ripping them down one by one. Whereas the AI will kind of spread the damage around, and like you'll get nowhere fast. You're just burning tires out for no reason, basically. All right, now when it comes to modding, his mods, I mean, like, you could run critical damage, critical chance. You could run critical chance potency. You could run speed potency. You could run basically any sort of set on Veers that you would wish. He's effective across the board. I modded him more for damage personally. In this case, I gave him a little extra critical chance, and I gave him a potency instead of crit damage because the potency was actually a lot better speed for him, as well as the fact that it was an offense arrow, so he does more damage in like the raids, Galactic War, what I want him to do versus just trying to ability block. Personally, I wouldn't try to mod him for potency too much, because the only move that really requires potency is his ability block, and that's only a 55% chance, guys. That's a coin toss as far as I'm concerned. So modding him for extra potency doesn't mean that you're going to land those ability blocks when you need them to land, so I wouldn't rely on them. I'd definitely make him more offensive than supportive in that case. Obviously, we're running a 30 speed arrow. I've got defense on the triangle. It's there because of the speed. I don't have the best speed mod, so it's there because of that. He's got a little extra offense and of course protection. I would want his triangle to be maybe a 5-dot protection with good speed, but I'll take what I can get. You probably want to run protection, and like I said, offense here. Offense is just going to make him hit that much stronger. So with respect to Veers' uses, General Veers can be used, like I said, he can be used in arena, even high level arena. He won't necessarily hold very well. You could very well drop like a rock if you're not careful. But I definitely see him as a useful support in arena. He's definitely good as a lead with a bunch of troopers for Galactic War. They walk through Galactic War. And if you use him with, once again, Grand Admiral Thrawn, he can actually be very useful in terms of getting other troopers to attack faster, to attack harder. He's just that extra oomph that the troopers need to just power through a team that, you know, you usually have problems trying to get through. Like a CLS team can sometimes be a bit of a chore. GK Zaris is definitely a little bit of a chore. So it's just nice to be able to rip through things like that. And obviously, like I said, the Phase 4 Heroic AAT tank raid, he is clutch if you don't run clones or resistance. I have, like, you know, resistance up decently, but I would much rather use the troopers because they're just so much more fun to me. So once again, it's about preference, but if you like General Veers, if you like the Empire, I really do think that you should add General Veers to your roster. The order which I'm doing these reviews is kind of the order of which I would try to pursue them in that sense, because Veers is like a decent type of gear, but he's not exactly like the most important Imperial to try to grab. Once again, it depends. Like if you really like Veers, absolutely go ahead and farm him. Regardless, I really think that he's very useful. And if they do release any future troopers down the line, then I think Veers may see a lot more gameplay. So that's it for this review, guys. I hope you liked it. If you did, leave a like. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post them at the bottom of the video. Gonna try to get it a couple more as I'm gonna be gone for like a good chunk of the week. It's a little bit of a long weekend, so yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a good night, guys. Peace.